Welcome, Nick. Oh, what an absolute pleasure to get you on the show finally.
It's an honour and a pleasure to be here, man. It really is.
Thank you, mate. I know you live in the Netherlands now, so it's a real treat for us to have you visit us. Well, come along and tell us a bit about your story and your kind of recovery story, because you're quite big in the recovery scene. Apart from your personal recovery, you help a lot of people.
I do, and I always have done this time round in my recovery. You know, I first came to recovery in 1993.
Yeah.
In January, when Cocaine Anonymous, if you like, was very small and very new.
Yeah.
In this side of the pond, if you like. And of course, they in those days people were saying just keep coming back, you know. I would hear that and think, well, you know, if I can keep coming back, that means I can also go back out.
Yeah,
you know.
Actually, you're right, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it gives you permission to go. Well, just keep coming back.
Well, it did me. You know, that was my thinking. It was really twisted. Any excuse, you know, and I'd be gone. So I'd hear that stuff. No one ever said just stay and do what we do.
Yeah,
you know. I'm not blaming anybody, but that's just how it was. But no, the love around in CA in those days was beautiful, you know, and I was always welcomed. And you know, I remember my very first meeting. I was given a big book, you know, and so on. Yeah. But
was this in the UK or were you in the Netherlands then?
No, I was in the UK.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was in the UK. I lived in the UK. I was in London. Most of my using was in London. Yeah. You know. Yeah, and in Cocaine Anonymous, it was very, you know, there was about 10 hardcore members, you know.
Wow, it's very small.
It was small, and there was 7 meetings a week already, you know, when I got there in 93 in January. And I remember as I'm talking now, you know, I just got to the very first Cocaine Anonymous convention in 1993.
Jeez.
And I was 2 days clean and sober, and I really didn't want to get up for the countdown, you know. I was too embarrassed, too ashamed, too full of guilt. I didn't want no attention, you know. I was so isolated and scared. Just like I didn't want to go to the meeting either. You know, I didn't want to go to no CA or AA or NA or any A, you know. It was just like, the only A I knew about was Alcoholics Anonymous, and my thinking was, they're all old men, how the hell are they going to help me, you know? And when I was told about CA and that I should go, I was like, no, because that's like, hey, no, I'm not going to do that, you know. But the day came and I had to go. You know, and
was that through circumstances or?
That was through using a lot of crack cocaine and getting to a place of readiness. You know, for
burning
CA.
enough things down.
Yeah, mate, I was isolated. I was alone. There was no affairs in my life other than the one with the dealer. You know, and like the readings say, you know. They don't want to know you unless you got any money at the end of the day either. They're not friends, you know.
You think they are.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Because they're, oh, Nick, how you doing? Yeah, what time are you coming over?
Exactly. No. So anyway, you know, I was on another crack binge early in the morning, 8 o'clock, thinking, damn, I've done it again. Why do I keep doing something I don't want to do? You know, I've reached that point now where I want to stop and I've realised I can't. You know, and
must be quite a scary feeling.
It really was
when you finally realise you're doing it and against your will, not because you want to.
Absolutely, you know, you're at a place where you don't want to do it, but you know, I wake up in the morning, right? Today I'm not going to use. There's no way on earth I'm going to, no matter what happens. You know, within 5 minutes I'm on the phone. God knows what happens in those first 5 minutes. You know, to get on the phone from I'm not using today to, you know. But anyway, here we are again, 8 o'clock in the morning, the sun's rising, the birds are singing, hate all that, you know, and I'm like, shall I call the hospital again? Because I know I'm going to be dead in 10 minutes, the psychosis is on me. And I thought, you know what?
Fucking hell.
You know what? Just go to the doctor up the road I've never told nobody.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people knew.
They probably knew, were looking at you, but you thought, no one knows my secret.
Well, yeah,
I'm a crackhead.
exactly. You know, no one knew I was
Yeah.
a crackhead. Exactly
Yeah.
that I thought.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go to the doctor at the top of the road when it opens, and I'm going to demand that I see him, and I'm just going to lay it all out and tell him what I'm doing. You know, and I've done that. And he just went, sorry, I can't help you.
Really?
Yeah. And
Well, I
he goes,
suppose they don't really know how to deal with an addict. Or
I was so surprised and hurt about it. You know, I was like, what do you mean you can't help me? I was like offended.
Yeah.
It's your job.
Yeah.
You know. But he just passed me a phone number.
Oh.
And he went, now call this guy. Now he can probably help you. And it was a drug counsellor.
Okay.
And he lived I lived in Finchley in London. And,
Yeah.
he was up in Barnet, I remember. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I did. And I started to see him once a week. Now, this was before CA. And he would say to me things like, you know, there's a fellowship started, and I think it'll be good for you.
Yeah.
And that's when I said things like, is that like AA?
Yeah,
you know, the old men, and that's not going to work.
It sounds the same.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. So I didn't go, you know, but I remember trying to stay clean on self-will.
Yeah.
You know, on my own and whatever, not going out of my room, smashing my room up, you know, doing things like that. Too frightened to go out, too destroyed.
I suppose your world became very small, right?
Very, very, very. There was no one in it. You know, my friends had gone. My real friends have even gone.
Yeah.
There's nobody,
They're
you know,
like,
other than my family, if I want them.
Yeah.
You know. It was a dark place. It really was. And anyway, I saw this guy and I went back to him. But there was this one night, and I would drink as well. But now I'm not using crack, so I'm all right. So I think, right? But I'm still drinking. I know nothing about abstinence.
Yeah.
And so now, drinking, not using, but still feeling like I'm dying inside.
Yeah.
Not really knowing what's really going on either.
Yeah,
Not knowing what was driving me, thinking I was confused because I thought, I've stopped the crack, what's going on?
Yeah, why is my
Why
life
aren't
still
I
shit?
getting better?
Yeah.
You know? And so on. But anyway, a day came and I thought, I'm going to phone my dealer up and I'm going to ask, because I wanted some life, I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what. So I said, I'm just going to ask him just so I could hang out with him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to use crack.
Yeah.
You know,
Just want to see how he is.
but I just want to see
if his
you know,
knee's better.
see what's happening. So I did. I phoned him, and I said to him, "Look, I don't want to use no crack, but I'd like to hang out with you for a night, if that's all right."
Yeah.
He goes, "Of course it is. Come over." Right. So I did, and I said to him, "Right, I don't want no crack, right?"
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't have to. You don't have
Yeah.
to take no crack if you don't want. But what you got to do." And this was me all over, wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted all my life.
Yeah.
You know, I would do things to fit in, to be accepted by others all my life.
People
so
pleasing,
now,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So now he's gone, you need to run these drugs over when I tell you to what door and so on. And I thought, I'll do that, no problem. You know what I mean? So I started doing shit like that. And anyway, to cut the story short, night is over and he's gone, there's your crack. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. I really said no, but I was so scared, and the feeling was there. I was, my heart was racing.
Talk about being the belly of the devil, man.
Don't want it. And I didn't take it.
Wow.
But the next day, luckily, I had an appointment with this guy.
Yeah.
And with the drug counsellor, and I told him about it. And I kind of wish I hadn't at that moment, because he said, right, you're not leaving my office now until you phone Cocaine Anonymous.
Wow. Yeah. So he must have known that you demonstrated some serious, I mean, for a crackhead to walk away from a lump of crack in the madness, that means that you had some power.
Yeah.
And
something was
Yeah.
I wanted to stop, and he knew it.
Yeah.
You know, but he also knew that I couldn't.
Yeah.
But he had
the willingness.
He was passionate about this CA. He really believed CA would help me. You know, so I said to him, right, So I'll do a deal with you, because there's no way I'm taking responsibility. I didn't even know what that meant back then, you know, and I'm 32 years old.
Yeah.
And, 30 years old, I think. And I've gone, I'll do a deal with you. You call them.
Yeah.
And we'll take it from there. And I thought, he ain't going to do that. But he did, right?
Wow.
He phoned them, and this guy comes on, and he passed me the phone, and he goes, what's your name? I said, Nick. He went, hello, Nick. Would you like to come to a meeting tonight? And I goes, well, where is it? He goes, it's in Blandford Street in the West End. It's a Tuesday night. And I went, tonight? That's a bit quick. Right? It went like that for real, you know. I was like, no, that's a bit quick. I'm not coming tonight. My mum was on her deathbed, if you like. She wasn't well.
Oh.
And I knew she was going to be in the hospital in that area the week later. So I said to him, I promise you I'll be there next Tuesday.
Okay.
And he said, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
That's cool. Lo and behold, I went there next Tuesday, on the Tuesday.
And
just like I promised him.
Had you managed not to use for a whole week, or?
That I can't remember, if I'm honest.
But the fact you went.
I went
this
there.
This is good.
I
good
went
signs.
there. Yeah, absolutely. I went there, and that was my first Cocaine Anonymous meeting on a Tuesday night, Blandford Street. There was 3 people in the room. I remember walking up to the little window, looking through, thinking, I'm not going in there. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's 3 people. No,
it's going to be intense.
It's going to be too much. You know, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
I already started sweating, going red probably, full of fear, full of anxiety. It's not happening. So, but then this girl turned round and she winked at me.
Yeah.
And I thought, damn, they've got me now. They know I'm here.
Yeah.
So I did go in.
And were they
I
friendly?
sat there. They were very friendly.
Yeah, because they probably could have been in the same position as you.
Absolutely.
You know, so they understood how difficult it is for you.
They understood and they knew, you know, but I didn't know that, you know, and I didn't see them as friendly. I just saw them as very gurus, you know, like. And then she stood up. She stood up for 5 years clean and sober.
Wow.
And CA hadn't even been around that long, so I'm thinking she's lying. You know, I don't believe it. And he over there's this and that one that. And anyway, they've all shared, and I ain't sharing nothing. I'm not talking, you know. So now I'm sitting there hoping the ground would open up because they're waiting for me to speak.
Forget
you
that,
know. And but I did speak, of course. I said my name. I said why I was there, and blah blah. But here's the beautiful thing that happened next. At the end of the meeting, this guy, I won't say his name. This guy says, "Will you come for a coffee?"
Oh, wow.
And I went, well, I'd love to, but I can't. He says, why not? I said, I don't have any money. He goes, I didn't ask if you got money, or I'm asking you to come for a coffee because I'm going to buy you one.
Oh, wonderful.
And I was like, really? You want to buy me a coffee? He says, yes. I went, all right, we'll do that, right? Because I thought, he's a nice guy, you know, whatever. I don't have friends anymore, you know what I mean? So I thought, this could be nice.
Oh, how nice.
So...
That's the fellowship part, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Even then, you know, and that was the love that was around in CA back then. You know, it was it's like that today still, but it's different today. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot wider. But then that was it. You know, that was CA. And he said, wait for me here, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, and I'll be back. And I'll take you for that coffee. Now, lo and behold, I did wait for that 3 minutes because I wanted the coffee, is the truth. And he was a nice guy. So anyway, he comes back and he was holding a blue book.
Oh, wow.
And he says,
That's the big book of
Alcoholics Anonymous. That's right.
Yeah.
So he's given me the book and he's gone, I want you to read this book. And I said, trust me, man, I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Right? He goes, just go home, read it. That's all.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night there's another meeting.
Wow.
I said, really? Where? He says, just over there in Hines Street. And I went, oh, yeah, but I'm not coming all the way back down here again tomorrow. He goes, well, why not? What else are you going to do? I said, well, I don't know yet, but I live in Finchley, mate, and I ain't got the money to keep coming down here. He goes, look, tomorrow night the meeting's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
There's about 30, 40 people.
Wow. Yeah.
You can come and you can even sit by the door and you can run out if you don't like it. And I thought, yeah, shall I not? And then he went, if you meet me here where we're standing now, or where we'll take you for coffee, I'll buy you another coffee before, and we can go together.
Wow. So he was really helping you.
So it's really,
really making it easy.
And then I thought, how can I say no to that?
Yeah.
I've just got to get to the West End now.
Yeah.
It didn't matter because the truth is, I thought I'd go to any lengths for my drugs, right?
Yeah, of course.
And,
you would think twice probably
I would walk.
crossing London.
Exactly, So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to walk through. I'm going to wake up tomorrow night. So it gave me something to do and a purpose.
To look forward to. That was healthy.
Exactly. I thought I'm going to wake up nice and early. It was summer. No, I don't think so. It was January, I think. No, it weren't so. But anyway, I got there and we went for a coffee and he took me to this meeting. And what happened next, my man, was home.
Wow.
I get emotional even now.
Wow, this is amazing, man.
Because, I'm sitting there in this meeting and the big book talks about it.
Yeah.
And it says we're people that wouldn't normally mix, And this guy, I can see him from afar. He's looking a bit odd for me, He's got long hair. He's got piercings here. He's got maybe a tattoo here and there. And he's wearing leather trousers. And he's looking at me and he's walking towards me. And I'm like, okay, who's this dude? And he's gone, hello, Nick. And I've gone, how the hell do you... And I swore, know my name. And he's gone, I'm your brother. Welcome home.
What?
Who's been waiting for you to come through the door and looking for you every night since we spoke on the helpline last week.
Whoa.
I went, what? You've been waiting for me and looking for me to come here. Every night this last week. He goes, because you told me you would.
Wow. How wonderful is that?
And I was like, wow, exactly, and it moves me, and it still does when I share that. More to the point, the reason why I get moved is because he's one of my best friends and has been ever since. And my dearest friend even today. When I get back to the Netherlands in a few days, I'll probably call him, And we've always stayed in touch. And we've grown up in recovery together, and he's always been there for me. Now, I'm kind of rambling a bit about it, so I don't know where I'm going. But the truth is, it's my experience, and in those first 4 years of Cocaine Anonymous, my first 4 years, like I said, it was new. There weren't a lot of people. There was 40 on a Wednesday, but that's the only meeting they ever went to.
Right,
It was like an elite club on a Wednesday. They would only go to that. But all the other meetings, because I started to go every day.
Oh, so there was daily meetings?
There was 7 a week. There was 7 a week.
Wow.
And I would go every day. And there was only 2 or 3 people that would go every day.
Oh, right. So you started to get bump into people.
You started to know who the real CAers are. And so on. And then they started kind of electing me for putting me forward for commitments, service.
Service commitments.
And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't take a meeting. What are you talking about? I'm only 2 days clean. Doesn't matter, Nick. Go on. And I'm like, serious? And then I realised that they were doing the same. And I was like, wow,
it's like a weird how it how it works.
So we were, I talk about it now, I look back on it now, and I sometimes, there was a lot of love, a lot of unity, and we were running around like headless chickens to stay clean and sober. And what I do know is we were saying the Serenity Prayer at the end of the meeting and holding hands.
Wow.
So something was working, something was
spiritual thing was growing, right?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, I and I'm proud of this because I did fulfill all my commitments that I ever had in Cocaine Anonymous, even back then. Now, I wouldn't stay clean though.
Okay.
I'd unite and I'd be of service, but I wasn't staying clean and sober. And what was happening is I'd get a week, I'd use again. I'd go to meetings again after that. One night I used. I'd start my meetings again. I would say
that's quite a painful way to live, I can imagine.
Oh, it was
because
very painful.
Because you're aware of your, and you're in the group and you're sharing.
Yeah.
And then going back out and hurting yourself more.
It was, and it was getting worse every time. Like it says, it never gets better, it gets worse.
Yeah.
And I got to 59 days clean and sober, and I went to the meeting thinking on the 60th day, I thought, I'm still going to pick up my chip, man. They don't need to know, and I picked up the chip 60 days because I thought I really wanted it, but I used it 59. And I'm like... That was horrible, On the way home, I'm with the guy who welcomed me. He's driving me now to meetings.
Oh, how lovely!
And he's coming to pick me up, and he's taking me to a meeting.
That dishonesty just doesn't sit right with you anymore.
So I shared it with him on the way home. I said, I actually used last night.
Oh, wow.
And he went, well, you know what you got to do then? I says, I ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, you got to take that chip back next week and give it back. I says, I ain't doing that. Yeah. You're mad. He goes, you have to. I says, why? He says, because you've got to be honest.
Yeah. So, because it's a program of honesty, isn't it?
I said, but they don't know. He goes, yeah, but you do.
That's so true, isn't it? That's not how an addict would normally think.
No.
He'd be like, I got away with it. So
no,
you didn't.
But you do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, shit. And then it started to...
So that was almost probably a good thing.
It was a very good thing.
It really taught you a lesson about yourself, right? Yeah. Is that you might, it's...
It was the first spark. It really was, It was a spark to honesty.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
And no one would have a go at you for coming back and saying I was dishonest.
That was my fear. That's why I didn't want to do it. I was like, how can I? Yeah. Because what are they going to say? What they might even throw me out. Yeah. And anyway, I went there and I gave it back and I said I actually used, but I picked the keyring up.
That takes some front, Nick.
So
and you got balls, man.
He was saying to me, this guy, back then, you got a lot of courage.
Yeah, courage, yeah.
And I would say, okay, if that's courageous, then I've got it.
Yeah, and, that's impressive.
It was,
Because I think most people would probably just avoid that meeting. But then you're... doing a disservice for yourself.
So I was really trying, doing what I could, to try and stay clean and sober. But I kept relapsing. And one of the reasons was all these defects that I'd learnt were defects, if you like.
Yeah.
The fear, the dishonesty, the ego, the arrogancy, and the selfishness, the self-centeredness, all these defects. The wanting to be liked, the people pleasing, the acceptance from others, the approval, always seeking from outside something to feel good on the inside, and not really knowing that it's got to come from the inside out. I'm living outside in, not inside out, and I didn't know that back then. So I brought all those defects that I've had all my life into Cocaine Anonymous, and now I'm starting to get a life. Because I'm starting to make friends in CA. I'm starting to have affairs with people. You know what I mean? We're starting to see I'm being of service.
The Nick you used to be, right? Yeah.
And they're showing me love. But Nick don't know how to accept love, see? And I'm going out using every now and then. But my using was one night, 2 nights, and I'd come back. One night, two.
So it was go the right way.
It was. Something was working, and it was my journey, and I say, it needed to happen the way that it did. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful for it. The biggest thing, I'd learned throughout all my relapses, if you like, is that I needn't have done it. That's the biggest thing I'd learned. If I'd have just been willing to really stay and do what they were telling me I had to do, what the big book tells me I have to do. Because here's the thing, I could unite, I wanted to please them, I wanted to be of service because I wanted to show them what a great recovery I had, or that I'm doing it to help them, my arrogancy, my egoism, my whatever, if you like. I'm not really understanding that what it really takes to stay clean and sober, And now I'm also reading that big book that guy gave me. So I'm learning it and I can talk it and I'm getting asked to do shares here and there, and I'm talking the big book, but there's no action.
Yeah.
It's all outside stuff.
It's all theoretical.
Yeah. It's all theory, you know, and there's no action in it, so there's no change going on the inside, you know. So I keep relapsing, you know, and not really knowing. Now, my last relapse was in 1996, in September, and this time I'm like, I'm gone. Yeah. Forget CA, it just ain't working, right? And someone said, well, have you ever really worked for CA?
Worked for CA?
Yeah. And I went, well, yeah, I've been of service.
Yeah.
He said, all right, have you ever worked for God?
Huh.
And I've gone silent now.
Yeah.
I was silent then, trust me, because I didn't know what he was talking about.
You
know, he'd lost me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He got me. And I thought, wow, okay. But this is when I come back. Now, I'd gone in 96 and I weren't coming back, right, because it weren't working. That was my thing.
You'd just given up. Yeah.
I'd given up. I was like, I've tried, I've done, you know, 3-4 years now, you know, and I've relapsed again. Come on. So now I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
Right, and I've gone down to Greece and I'm partying down there. I'm with girlfriends down there. I've got drug going on down there. I'm making money. And all of a sudden something happened and I beat up a policeman.
Wow. Shit.
And the police, again, come and arrested me. They took me to a little police station in Piraeus, Greece, and they're beating me on the hour. Now, I've got a Greek name.
Yeah.
And they know that I'm Greek, and they're saying stuff like bad stuff about my family,
saying you're a wrong one, basically.
Yeah, and my whole family is, and this and that, and they were really being nasty, right? And I thought I got too embarrassed to even speak Greek because of what I was hearing, but they were beating me on the hour, and it weren't a beating; it was physically, it was a beating.
Jesus,
and
because they could do that. It's not like Europe.
No.
Modern Europe.
Not then, no.
Yeah.
And they would do that on the hour, and I was wearing a suit with a tie, and I had blood all over me, and it was horrible.
Fucking hell.
Right now, about 3-4 in the morning, the police started. There was a couple of them, and I heard them say, "If only he would speak Greek, we'd probably let him go anyway." But I was too stubborn. I thought, no, I'm not doing it to myself. You know, I thought, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather take the beating.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them what they want.
Yeah.
That's how stubborn I was, right? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And now I really believe I'm going to a Greek jail, and that's my destiny. You know, they're going to lock me up somewhere. I'm going to go to court here, you know. What I didn't know back then was it was God looking after me. Wow. You know, and God's always been there. Always trying to talk to me. Always trying to
get your attention, maybe.
Get my attention, always trying to scream at me by putting me up in those places.
Situations.
In those situations where I get beat up by the police. That was God trying to reach me. I believe that.
Explain a bit more how that would be, just for the listeners. When you say trying to reach you to make you come to your senses, or? To start seeing that there really is a God. Yeah. To start really believing in God, to start really trying to live like God would want me to live. Yeah, you know, and of course I knew the big book then, you know, and when I left that police, because they did let me go. Okay. They did let me go. I did speak Greek. Yeah. I told them in the end. I did in the end, but I lost it with them. I told them what I thought of their families and everything. I actually thought they're going to really hammer me now, but they didn't. Okay. And again, I believe that was God. Wow. Right? And they let me go, just like there was that moment of clarity that if I just speak Greek here, they might just let me go, and they did. Thank God. Now, I walked out of that station, and I look left, there's nowhere to go. I'm like, I've got no friends over there, man. I look straight, what am I going to do? I look right, there's no family. They've disowned me, I've disowned them. There's only Cocaine Anonymous, but it's 2,000 miles away in a little place called the West End of London, Chelsea, and I've got no money. Might as well be a million miles away at that point.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got nothing,
I'm like, what's going to happen here? So I just thought, blood all over me. I'm walking in Perry House. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun is rising, and this church was there.
Yeah.
And I sat on the stairs. I laugh and joke because I used to say, if I go back there, I bet there was 12.
Yeah.
You know, but I did go back there, of course, and to make amends and whatnot. And I went there, and there was 15.
Oh, right.
But yeah, you know, and I sat on those stairs. I remember it as clear as rain, and I'm like, step 3 prayer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, and I know it as a riddle.
Yeah.
You know, I've been saying it every day.
Us?
What the step 3 prayer?
Yeah.
God, I offer myself to you to build with me and do with me as you will. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do your will. Take away my difficulties over victories take away my difficulties over victory over them may bear witness to your love and your way of life.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know, and it was a riddle back then, you know, but that day something profound happened. And this is where I started to really believe.
Yeah.
Because that prayer was answered, and the prayer went like this. Step 3 prayer. You got to say it and say it now because you're going to mean it.
Yeah.
And this is how it went. God, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. If you're up there, down there, around the corner, you've got to come and do something with me now. Because I'm done with living my life like this. I can't live like this no more. You've either got to come from up there, around the corner, down there, I don't know, and do something with me. Either kill me or change me.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful.
Now that was from the heart.
Yeah.
No book.
Yeah.
You know, that was my real step 3 prayer.
How you felt.
That's how I felt. You know, and that's what came out. You know, and I believe that prayer was answered.
Whoa.
And the reason is because the guy that welcomed me with the leather trousers got me a ticket so I could get back to London.
Wow.
And get to Cocaine Anonymous in London. And that's what happened. Within 3 days, I was back in Chelsea.
Lucky, man.
You know, and I was staying in little hostels around that area. I had a house in Finchley, and I weren't staying. I wanted to stay in the midst of my people, And I did, you know. And that was powerful. That was my spiritual rock bottom, if you like. That was the gift of desperation, the G-O-D, the God shot, if you like, that I needed.
Yeah.
You know, that was the day that God finally reached me.
Yeah.
With His
and
power.
Gave you enough power to.
And that's why I don't stop thanking God today for what He's done for me, despite of me. You know, because God.
I see a lot of gratitude in you.
Absolutely.
I could see pure gratitude.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You know, for real. Because if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for God, there'd be no Nick.
Wow.
There'd be no Nick.
Really? Do you think you would have self-imploded?
Absolutely. I believe that.
Wow.
I really do, genuinely.
Yeah.
The big book talks about it. It doesn't talk about it by mistake or you know, to be taken lightly, I believe.
Yeah.
Without God, I'm nothing.
Wow.
You know, and it tells me that.
I love that.
You know,
I love spiritual people so much. I aspire to be spiritual like that.
You can be. You are.
Yeah.
You know, and the truth is, you know, the beautiful thing is we all are. We might not know it.
I don't feel it sometimes.
We might not know it.
When I'm having a go at someone in traffic and I'm swearing at them, I don't feel spiritual.
Well, listen, we can all do that.
Yeah.
You know, we're humans.
We're
always going to have humanism.
You're not going to walk around with a halo
we're
over
not
your
saints.
forever.
We're not saints, exactly.
We are not saints.
But here's the beautiful thing. You know, I didn't believe there was a God. I didn't come to Cocaine Anonymous to find no God. There was no way.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like God. I didn't want God. Didn't trust God. You know. But God did not give up on me.
Wow. And were you a spiritual person as your upbringing? Were you forced to go to church, and so it was easy to love God and find God, or was this like
my parents
an enlightening?
My parents would go. They would take us to church sometimes. Easter and maybe at Christmas, and I knew Jesus, I knew God, if you like, and I heard about it all, but it didn't make sense to me.
Stuff,
it didn't
Until
make sense.
Until you've had that experience yourself,
yeah,
I can imagine, like you said, you felt the power.
Yeah.
That's
But he finally
yeah.
reached me with that, with whatever he wanted me, you know, whatever. He was chipping away.
Yeah.
You know, and he weren't giving up.
Is that what gives you your strength to stay sober now?
Yes,
Still?
yes.
Even after, 2015?
I'm coming up 28 years in...
28 years?
In 20th of August, I'll be 28.
Flipping hell.
God willing.
You will. Wow. No, but I'm always interested in stuff like that. So that power keeps you clean and sober. That keeps the devil off your shoulder, the monkey off your shoulder.
I do not stay clean and sober.
Just on Nick's will.
God keeps me clean and sober.
Wow. And that's living proof.
Because I can't.
28 years is proof.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a fluke.
It's not.
A weekend is a fluke. You know, I'm not going to use or not going to do this. That's a fluke.
You see, here's the beautiful thing. On the 20th of August, 1997, that was the day that I fully surrendered to go to any lengths for my recovery.
Wow.
You know, and I did. They used to say any lengths.
Yeah.
And I used to think any lengths. Okay, I can walk there. I can do that. I can be of service. I can. No one said any lengths to let go of yourself and your bright ideas.
Yeah.
The big book talks about it.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, my bright ideas. You know, people used to say you got to change your thinking. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do that?
Yeah.
How's that going to happen? So I didn't believe in God. I didn't know God. You know, I didn't. You know, I didn't even know what spirituality meant. You know, when I got here and heard all this stuff. You know, and it was only until I surrendered 100% to go to any lengths, because now I know that I've got to have a deep, effective spiritual experience. Not a spiritual experience, a deep and effective one. That's what the big book says. Now, I'm desperate enough to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Yeah.
I hadn't got a clue what it is.
But you're waiting for the message of what to do. Or willing.
And now when I got to that point, the right people started to appear in my life.
Wow.
To be able to give me that wisdom that I needed, the direction I needed to have.
Love it.
To have that deep, effective spiritual experience.
So it was almost like when you were ready, these angels or people came to your life and guided you the right way.
When I was
willing. When you weren't ready, you didn't see them. They could have been right in front of you and you didn't see them.
They could have been there, but you
when
didn't want it.
When you're ready and sound like I'm a preacher now, preaching God. No, but I can feel the power, Nick. When you talk about it, just give me tingles.
Willingness.
I can feel the power of it.
The willingness really came. And that's when I knew God's reached me. You know, if they'd have told me back then to lick the floor and I'd have stayed clean off of crack, I would have done it.
Yeah.
You know, because there was no way I'd do anything now to not use crack. See, I've got a disease, and they're talking about that, you know, and I've heard about that, but what I didn't realise is I can't just rely and depend on the fact that I know I've got a disease.
Yeah, it's not going to
make you well. That's not going to keep me clean and sober.
Yeah, knowing you've got cancer isn't going to cure you.
It's not going to cure you.
Yeah.
You got to do some stuff. You got to take your medicine. You got to do your service. You got to do your commitment. But the beautiful thing, see, like I said, there's a triangle, right?
Yeah.
I can be of unity and service, but if my recovery, the foundation isn't strong and 100% solid, I will always fall.
Yeah. Well, same as any construction, right?
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Just like a house.
Yeah. Is that what they call the cornerstone? Is that right?
No, that's the foundation stone.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know, I always say to my people, and you know, from my experience, the foundation stone is in my step one.
Yeah.
That's where the honesty really starts. That's the spiritual principle behind one. You know, that's where I start to find out my truth about what it is that makes me do stuff I really don't want to do. Makes me use crack cocaine when I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's that powerlessness, that kind of demoralisation that it's the only thing I can do. I didn't know nothing about, you know, a mental obsession, an allergy of the body.
Yeah.
You know, and once I take one, there's no way that I can stop.
Yeah.
Because I don't have no mental defence. You know. Well, what is a mental defence, people ask me. Thank God I know what that is today, and that's my God.
Yeah. So that's like your tool, isn't
God defends me, absolutely. God's removed it, but you've got to let him.
Yeah.
So in other words...
That's scary for people, because you kind of almost let go of the steering wheel, and having faith that you're not going to crash.
Absolutely.
And that's people struggle to let go. And
Absolutely.
Let God.
Let go, let God. That's a simple, the program is that simple.
Yeah. Wow. So it's not complicated.
Easy. It's not complicated, no. It's us that complicates it, you know,
we
or I
overthink
did.
it, I suppose.
We overthink it, we want to know, we want guarantees.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah. Want our money back, guaranteed.
Exactly.
If I don't like it, can I get my crack back?
Exactly. I always say to people today, look, if you give yourself wholeheartedly, like the big book states, completely, abundantly, rigorously, you know, if you do that, just do it for 6 months to a year.
Yeah. And see what happens. Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you do that 100%, you ain't going to want to use no more. But if you do, you can. Yeah. Because the misery is still there waiting.
Yeah, misery is always available 24/7, isn't it? Nick, it's amazing hearing your story about how you found your recovery. But I'm also aware that you do a lot of work with people newly in recovery, and you do stuff. I've been to your home years ago in the Netherlands.
That's right.
And you'd have 10 or 15 people for the day, and doing step work and stuff like that. Well, how did that come about?
Right, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll tell you how it come about. When I was in, because I when I stayed clean and sober, I was in a Hopes and Dreams workshop once, a long time ago, and this time round, since the 20th of August 1997, I was in a Hopes and Dreams workshop, and I was asked, "What are your hopes and your dreams?" And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. Don't know. What do you want to do with your life? Yeah. Don't know.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. The only thing I knew was that, I was hustling. Yeah. Whether it be drugs, whether it be cars. Yeah. I knew I was a car buyer and a car seller. Yeah. You know, if you want to call it that. But I was hustling, you know, and just trying to... Now I'm in this place and I've got 3 cars around me trying to sell them. Wow. And I'm clean and sober. And it dawned on me, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe become a car dealer then. Yeah. And he went, but Nick, you know that's not good for you. And I'm like, well, I don't know then. Yeah. He goes, is there anyone you'd like to be like? Yeah. And I went to the guy, I'd like to be someone like you. I'd like to be you. Oh, wow. And he went, well, what do you see in me that you like? Yeah. I said, the fact that you're doing this workshop the way that you are, I want to be able to do that. Wow. And he went, well, you can. And I went, I don't believe I can. He goes, why not? I says, I've got to go to school, right, and college and stuff, because he was a drug counsellor. Yeah. And I'm like, he's gone, yeah, so? And I'm like, I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to college now. I'm too old. And he's gone, you're too old. He goes, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a referral, write you a letter for the college, and you're going to go today and enrol for a 6-week course. You don't have to do the 6 weeks, he said. Yeah. He knew me. Yeah. Right? He goes, you don't have to do the 6 weeks. Just do 2 weeks, and if you don't like it, come back. Yeah. Try it. If you don't try it, you failed. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not a failure today. Yeah. So I thought, all right.
And what was the course on?
Let's do it. It was the basic. It was a basic counselling course.
Oh wow, okay. And I would have thought, with your experience as a previous drug user, you'd be fully qualified already to be on that course, right?
Well, here's the beautiful thing. I went on that course, and after 2 weeks, I'm starting to like it. Wow. And after 3 weeks, I'm thinking I could do this. And after 4 weeks, I'm thinking I am going to do this. Yeah. This is the truth. Yeah. You know, and on the 5th week, they're all liking me too. Yeah. They're finding me interesting because I'm opening up. So I can see that it's really helping me being there. Yeah. So I started to fall in love with the place, you know, and this college and this university. Yeah. And I'm like, typical addict, I'm like, I'm going to enrol for 4 years. Wow. And I did, because I had a bit of money back then. And I thought, I'm going to enrol for 4 years and I'm going to become a drugs counsellor. I don't want to be a drugs counsellor, I want to be a good one. Yeah. Right? So I thought, I'm going to do it. You know, and I did.
Dude, that's amazing.
And I used to say to this guy, a friend of mine who vouched for it today, you know, I don't let nothing rock my boat. Back then, you know, I'm going to watch me. Yeah, you're very headstrong. I was very determined, very, you tenacious. Know, and I was. And I, you know, I started working in rehabs. It was voluntary in that first 4 years. I'm staying clean and sober. Yeah. I'm living in Bournemouth now, and I'm working in 2 different rehabs, voluntary, for 4 years.
Jeez.
To do my training for the course that I had to do, because my course was, they say it's a part-time course, but it was 2.5 days a week, and the other 2.5 was voluntary.
How do you survive on that?
That's a full time.
Week. Yeah.
So that's how it was, and I did that for 4.5 years.
That takes a lot of dedication, Nick. Considering,
really
especially, you wouldn't be on a big wage or anything. You're volunteering and 2.5 days a week.
I did that.
That you must have really wanted to do that.
I really did, and where I felt full, like you said, grateful earlier. I was so grateful, and I still am. But back then, I remember it now. We're talking about it. How grateful I really was to the people that were showing up in my life to teach me. I worked alongside some big professional people, down in Bournemouth, who really knew addiction and. And they were big in the drug field, and they were big in drug counselling, and I was enjoying it, and trying to learn more and more. But the biggest thing I'd learned is not to mix my recovery with my counselling.
Okay, so it's to your own personal recovery.
Yeah. Meaning now I've graduated, right? And I've got my diplomas, I've got my master, got whatever degrees I need to be a drug counsellor. Still haven't got a paid job. And I remember going to the where I'd worked for 4 years, and I'm like, right, you're going to give me a job now, right? That was my expectation, and she said, sorry, we don't have an opening.
Oh shit.
I'm like, what, for me? You ain't got an opening? I've done 4 years here for nothing. And she's like, it wasn't for nothing, Nick. If I tell you what we would charge to train someone the way we've trained you,
that's
it's not for nothing.
No.
And I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense. I better shut up.
Yeah. You actually got the better end of the deal. So you're fully qualified, therapist. Sorry,
absolutely.
Not therapist, counsellor.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Then.
You didn't know. I know.
Well, you don't go around with the badge and it's not a big plaque on your.
I don't advertise it. I don't. I don't, because, like you said earlier, I don't. It's just another way of helping people.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? Whether it's from a professional basis or a personal basis. The personal helps me in my recovery. The professionalism, I get paid, I make some money if I do. I don't.
But you're not money motivated. I've seen how you live. It's not being disrespectful. You're not. You have what you need. You don't live in a big mansion with a Mercedes outside.
Absolutely.
And a swimming pool.
Here's the thing, Marcus. That you probably didn't know, but I will share it. Once I got. Now I've got to the point where I've gone to this rehab and I've asked for a job and they said no, and I'm gutted. Right. And I've gone to the other one that I'd worked for 4 years, also alongside, and they've also said no. And now I'm in despair, thinking, man, what was all that for the last 4 years? I started feeling down. I started thinking, oh my God, I've wasted my time. It's not going to happen. And I went to my friend who's got a rehab and I said to him, look, this is what's happened. Can you give me a job? And he went, no, I'm not giving you a job. And I was gutted even more because he's a good friend, right? Not realising that he's doing me a favour. He says, Nick, why don't you start filling up some job interviews and start looking for some jobs? And I said, I've never done that. He goes, well, it's about time you start, don't you think? And I'm like, wow.
Oh, gosh.
And then I
Cheers,
went to and then I went to this other counsellor who's been helping me, mentoring me, and I told him, he goes, I'll help you with the application forms.
Oh, nice.
And I started to do it. And I went for a couple of job interviews, and it was scary, you know, and whatnot. Never done that in my life. And I landed a job. Here's the beautiful thing. I went for a job in a prison.
Okay.
In down further south in England. And there were 7 people there interviewing me. And I was so scared. There was the prison #1 governor. There was a psychologist. There was a drug strategy. There was all these people, right? And I'm like, oh my God, you know, this is going to be fun. You know, I remember sitting before praying and going in there thinking I'm going to do this. You know, that's one of the greatest things I've learned by now in recovery as well. I don't fake it to make it no more.
Okay.
You know, it's about faith in it to make it.
Faithing it.
Yeah.
I like
you
that.
know, so I'm faithing
it, not facing it, faithing it.
Not faking it.
Yeah.
Because I've faked things all my life to try and make life. Do you know what I mean? But faith in it, it's another story. Because now I've got the faith, you know, and if I just do my best, it's whatever it is, he knows.
Love that. I love faith.
As long as I'm doing my best and my part, you know, and I did that at this interview, and I got the job.
Wow.
I got the job.
Fantastic.
Within about, I don't know, within a day I got the job. Now, it wasn't about the money, but I did start to need money.
Yeah.
I did need to start getting paid. I did, and I wanted it, you know. Otherwise, why did I work for 4 years at this college, you know? And now, if I'd have gotten the job at the rehabs that I went to in the first place, I would have got something like 15 grand a year.
Yeah, it's not great paid.
It's not great, right? In those days either, you know. But it was the wage. I thought, you know, it would have been all right. 40 grand a year.
Wow. Flipping hell.
And it's my first job.
That's pretty impressive. And were you able to be honest about your past life with your addiction and stuff?
Yeah.
So they knew you were fully qualified, not only academically, but on the street.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everyone knew. I've never hid it. I've never been ashamed by it. I've never been embarrassed by it.
Normally in a job interview, you'd probably be choosy. But the type of role you went for, it was probably...
I remember, now you're saying that, I remember saying to, in the presentation I gave, alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
In liquid form. We just don't see it like that.
Yeah.
And one of the prison governors went,
She's like, is it? Shit.
He went, can you elaborate?
Yeah, it's a bit too close to home, that one.
I thought, oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get this job now.
Yeah.
But I did anyway. But yeah, it was funny. But no, and then I worked there for about a year, and they were pulling the plug on the funding.
Right.
And we were going to lose the contract. And I'd just bought a house.
Oh, shit.
And now I need a job. But anyway, I got a job from 40,000 a year to 20, going back to Bournemouth, where I was working for 4 years. They gave me a job finally.
Oh, well, that's good.
Which was nice because it tied me over. But the thing is, now I'm living on Portland and I'm driving to Bournemouth every day, which is an hour and a half, 3 hours a day. And I'm like, I did that for a year and a half. But I was working, enjoying my life, enjoying my recovery, and doing, helping, win-win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just helping. And even back then, Marcus, I used to say, it's all for God. Whether I'm getting paid, whether I'm not.
It's God's will.
It's my way of thanking God.
Wow. So you see yourself almost like a humble servant.
I'm an instrument of God, even today.
Wow.
You know, 100%, there's no doubt. You know, I'm not one who will turn my back on God because he never turned his back on me. You know, why would I?
I love that faith you have, man.
You know, everything I do. Even when, you know, I do a step 9 with somebody and whatever, and they say to me, why are you doing this? And I don't think I'm doing it for you because I ain't.
Yeah.
I'm doing it so I can be closer to God. That's the truth.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
You know, and of course along the way, I do it for you too, because you're a child of God too, just like all humans are. Mad. I've learned how to love. I've learned how to give love. I've learned how to receive it. Do you know what I mean? And that's through living a godly life, if you like.
And helping. I mean, the amount of people you've, you know, taken through the steps and done step work with, and
absolutely.
You know, it's
now the reason why I started sharing that is because when I then I'll share this quickly.
Yeah, that's all right.
I then after that got a job on Portland again, working for the National Health Service for the UK in a prison, delivering 12-step treatment programs.
Wow.
And I did that for 9 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Yeah.
And
is this for people who are incarcerated? In jail. Yeah. And how receptive were they?
How receptive were they? Some were
like, I need help, that I'm in here because
there was
of drugs,
someone the other day, 22 years clean and sober now.
Wow. And they keep in touch with you?
Well, I see it.
Or you see it on,
I see it on social media and stuff. And
that must make you feel
great. And we do stay in touch.
That must make you feel
amazing.
amazing.
You know, my comment was, this really warms my heart. Thank you for staying and doing what you do.
What a beautiful thing
Do you
to
know
see.
what I mean?
To be part of someone's recovery.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, all the positiveness that they're generating with their family and loved ones.
Absolutely.
Instead of causing
There's
carnage.
another guy who, you know, he sends me, he sent me what I wrote in his big book back then, the day he was leaving prison, you know, he sent it to me. He goes, "This is what you put in my big book." And I said, "Shit, did I?" Yeah, that was me.
What was it, like a farewell kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, it was a farewell thing,
Yeah.
and he said, "Will you sign my big book?" You know, and I just put alcoholic, you know, a life centred on helping others, you know, will live in complete sobriety, and it made sense.
Beautiful.
It was an acronym,
Yeah,
you know, and things that I'd learnt, you know what I mean? I just pass it on, you know.
Fucking hell, man.
And that's what we do. And he's clean and sober still today. So they've some were.
Jeez.
It's like anything, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, I've helped a lot of people and still do.
Yeah.
You know, thousands of people come,
Yeah.
you know, for help. Hundreds might stay.
Yeah.
You know, if 10 come, 2 will stay.
What's your threshold of whether? Because you know, when you invite people to your house, I mean, when you invited me, you didn't even know me. We just briefly met. What makes you want to help someone and invite them into your personal space to try and help them?
Because I really see that God wants to help them.
Yeah.
I really see the people as a child of God, and they deserve help. If they're struggling, or if they don't even know they're struggling, but I see they're struggling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even then, I'll try and get them to see.
Very noble, very noble of you. Because you know, some people get clean and sober that have been on the show, and they're quite happy getting on with their lives, and they're happy, and their lives are happy, and they don't really spend as much time thinking about someone who's still out there. I'm not having a dig at anyone on the show, but I'm just the message I hear. Some people like yourself are really pro. I put all my time into giving away what I've been given, and some people spend all the time into enjoying what they've been given.
Now you know, after that, I mean, then I obviously moved to Holland.
And how did that come about?
Well, that came about because I was headhunted to go and work in a rehab in Amsterdam.
Oh, wow.
And I was in a difficult place. I'd left the NHS on a sabbatical, and I was down in Spain. And it's funny because I'm in Spain and it's very tough down there to do anything. And I'm on my last legs with money, you know, and my money's running out. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm sitting on the beach praying to God every day. And God ain't saying nothing, you know. So when, like the big book says, and what I've learned, if nothing comes, you carry on doing nothing, you know.
Just wait.
Just wait, you
Be
know.
patient,
But what I was doing was building up Cocaine Anonymous. I was sponsoring people because that's the basics of what we do, you know. I'd learnt this stuff, and I was sponsoring people in Spain. I was starting meetings in Spain and helping. And then about 3-4 months later, I got a call from Holland, out of the blue. And this guy says to me, "I've got a rehab with 35 people sitting here without any counsellors. Would you be willing to come? I met you about 9 years ago. You probably don't remember me." And I thought, I think I do, but I'm not sure if it's you. You know, and but he said, "Look, come over. It's 2 weeks. Stay here.
See what you think.
And see what you think. And if you like it and we like you, then we'll do a deal." I said, "All right."
Wow.
And I got there, and they speak better English than me. So it was like I could stay here, you know, and I loved it. And I was back in the real world, in the world I know, you know, and
with your people.
I was loving it, you know, and I helped a lot of people very quickly. There, and I also started to help mental health people and other people with other disorders, not only addiction. And he went bust, and he did whatever he did, and and so that closed, and that enabled me to continue because people were approaching me, parents. And,
so you'd got a bit of a reputation by that point.
And I was asked to stay.
Let me just turn this off. Sorry about that.
And I was helping a girl at the time who was self-harming herself. And her parents approached me, her mum especially, and she said, "Look, what's going to happen with you now the place?" I said, "Well, look, to be honest with you, I'm stuck in the middle because I need to go and earn some money." She said, "Nick, if you leave now, my daughter, you've been helping her for 3 months. not cut herself.
Yeah.
And she hasn't cut herself for the first time in 9 years.
Wow.
You know, and I don't know what you've done with her and what you're doing with her, but it's working. And if you leave now, she's going to cut herself again.
Oh, shit.
She will. I know it, you know. And I went, well, I don't know. And she went, and I was on my own, and I was like praying to God and thinking, God, what do I do? And I thought, I've got to do exactly what I told the guy to do when he took her into the clinic. You can't just abandon her after 2-3 weeks. Yeah. She needs long-term therapy. So now I'm like, there's my answer. I've got to stay. Yeah. You know, and I did.
Wow.
And I wasn't living great, you know. It was a tough time for me personally. But I knew even then it was about helping other people.
And God's will for you.
And God's will for me, you know, to be there. You know, I could have gone back to London, England, and got a job easy if I wanted. I could have gone to Cyprus and done something there if I wanted, but God had me there. Yeah. And I knew that this is God, you know, so stay. Wow. And then from there, I met my wife, who now my wife, Evelyn, and then we started. It was my idea, funny enough, to start a fruit and veg stall, organic. She didn't want to at the beginning.
Really, I thought this was her gig.
It is her gig, but she didn't want to. She was at farming school when we met, and that's how I was introduced to the organic world, if you like.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I would go there, Marcus, and they would say, sit down. It was a community, and they would say, come and eat with us. And I'd leave hungry, you know, because it was just vegetables.
Oh, right.
And then I'd get a kebab at the shop, you know, going home to Amsterdam. And I would tell her, you know, bless her. But I started to think, like, what is this organic? And I started to Google and anyway, I made a decision. Whatever's going to go in my body, I'm going to decide if it's good for me or not. So anyway, I went organic. But that's not, you know, what happened then. We started an organic. She came out one day. She phones me. I came out doing a group in Amsterdam because now I'm running groups in Amsterdam. I'm doing workshops.
Great CA in Amsterdam, isn't they? Yeah, massive.
And I'm doing it as caring point at this time for myself, you know. And I'm not making money, but it's keeping me, you know, in my heart's work. And I come out of group one day and she phones me and says, Nick, we're going to start a market together. Are you still willing to help me?
Oh, wow. This is before you were together?
No, we were together now.
Right, yeah.
And I said, what's brought this about? She's gone, well, you always say, and I've always heard you say it, nothing in God's world happens by mistake. I said, that's right. She goes, well, I just got an offer to start a market by somebody. They're looking for someone in the goat farm in Amsterdam. Yeah. I said, well, phone them now. Let's go and see them tomorrow and let's do a deal with them.
Wow.
She goes, well, it's not starting for 4 months. I said, I don't care. Let's do it now. And we did. And we got moving.
Wow, I love that.
Because I'm all about action.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, almost to an addict level.
Yeah. The other way.
Yeah.
You know, so now it's like, okay, so we did. And that was fun. And that brought us together. And it just grew. The organic food business has boomed.
Yeah, so your BioMonkey supermarket, is that a franchise? I mean, have you got many of them, other ones, or just that one?
No, what we've got is we've got one shop, and we've got 2 markets.
Okay, wow.
Haarlem and Amsterdam.
Yeah.
We used to have 6 markets and the shop when we first started the shop. We started the markets first, and we had 6 a week. But then we got a shop after 2-3 years, and then we still continued with the markets, thinking we didn't know what we were going to do.
Yeah, you were just
playing with it and seeing what was going to happen.
What made the money in,
Yeah, and we did think about franchising or all that stuff. But then we thought, cut down on some markets because we're losing focus with the shop. Yeah. We'll get an overview. And maybe we can put our energy into the markets we do keep, or something's going to change. Yeah. It's too much. And when we done that, we started to see a boom.
Yeah, because you're focusing on...
Yeah. Right. Our 2 markets, the ones we kept Friday and Saturday, have boomed, and they still are today.
Wow.
You know, especially after COVID. Yeah. You know, and so on.
We haven't spoke about your recovery houses yet. I'd like to fit that in if we could.
Yeah.
So tell us, you've got 1, 2...
Right. So
what's it called?
It's called Theocharis Recovery House.
Yeah.
And Theocharis, the reason why I've called it that, I've got to say this, because people think, or I've heard it, you know, oh, that's your ego, Nick, because you've called it your name.
Yeah. That's your surname, is it?
That's my surname, yeah. But what people don't realise, it's my surname, all right, but I haven't called it because it's me, you know, I haven't come from that place.
Yeah.
But this is another thing, you know, no one can tell you about ego unless they know where you're coming from.
Yeah, of course.
And only you know where you're really coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Theocharis means grace of God.
Wow.
In Cypriot.
I didn't realise that. So that's your surname?
Yeah. God's grace.
That's amazing.
And
what a great name for a recovery house.
Theo is Greek,
Theo.
and Charis is grace. Wow. So it's God's grace. And I thought, I'm going to call it that. You know, and we did. Now, what happened in 2015 when we got the shop?
Yeah.
Evelyn approached me and she says, right, for the last 4 or 5 years, you've let go of your heart's work so you could help me build our business with BioMonkey. I says, yeah, we've done it together, you know, and I love it. And she said, I know, but it isn't you.
Wow. What an amazing woman.
I was not confused. I was distraught. I was about, what do you mean it's not me?
Yeah.
It is me. I've been, I felt like she was criticising me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not you. You know, like you don't deserve it or something. I don't know where she was. I didn't know where she was coming from.
We go to the negative straight away, don't we?
So I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, Nick, I've seen where you shine.
Wow.
And you've put that down to help me.
Yeah.
You shine when you've got 5, 6 people around you in a group, delivering your treatment, your counselling, your 12 steps, your therapy, your whatever you want to. You love helping people, and you've got a big wisdom around it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are right. I mean, I do get the shine part.
Yeah.
And I do miss it. She goes, well, now we've got a house. Why don't you invite people here and you can start doing workshops?
Wow. And this is in Netherlands.
This is in Netherlands now,
above
where you came.
It's a beautiful little spot.
So we started in 2016, and there's not been a month, other than when we were away, where we haven't run a workshop.
Fantastic.
You know, and so there's that Theocharis Recovery House. That's what it does. You know, it's a continuum of care.
I thought that's in Greece.
I was talking about that.
Oh, sorry, you wheeled it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I do in the Netherlands is I help people. Also, they can come and stay if they need, although not so much. What I do is have a lot of outpatient people that come. You know, they come as and when they need, as and when they want. You know, they'll phone me. We'll arrange an appointment. Yeah. I might give them a recovery plan if they need it. You know, I'm really flexible and creative in the way that I can work and help somebody with the skills and knowledge I have and the counselling skills and everything else. But, you know, I just want to help people. Yeah. You know.
I love it.
Now, the foundation has grown. It's become a foundation in 2022.
Jeez.
And what that means is it's become a charitable status in the Netherlands. And it's been recognised, and we haven't started it as yet, so to speak. Yeah. We're in the process of doing stuff there. That's why we go there a lot. Well, I have taken 1 or 2 people out, you know, to help them there and whatnot. But
is it a house? It's a physical house.
It's a physical house. It's freestanding. It's got a swimming pool. It's got olive groves.
Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
And because we accept donations, you know, we can now, you know, when we get donations there, you know, no one's taxed on it. Yeah. Because we got an UNBIS status in the Netherlands.
The UK, I think.
I'm not sure how it is here, you know, but I've learned how it is there now and so on. So I'm just grateful. Now, when I was working in prisons, I remember I used to pray for something like this. Yeah. You know, and here it is again. When God's ready, He'll do what He's going to do.
Nicholas, it's amazing. You've just inspired me with so much
And the plan is to in the future start doing retreats there, start taking people out there more and more, and giving people a holiday. You know, letting people, addicts, know that there's a life without drinking drugs. You know, to be had. You know, I remember when I was new, I was too scared to go on holiday. I was too scared to get on the plane. I'm going to drink again, you know, I'm going to this, I'm going to that, you know. And the beautiful thing is, in Cocaine Anonymous, I've been around the world on the outside, do you know what I mean? I've been to America many times. I've been around Europe a few times. You know, wherever there's CA, wherever we get asked to speak, it's God's will. I never say no. Wherever I'm going to help somebody, in whichever which way, I don't like to say no. Because it's our duty to not say no. It's our duty to say yes.
Wow.
You know,
Nick, what an absolute message. An absolute message you've shared with us. And, you know, hearing your story from the beginning and, you know, and just all these wonderful things that once you actually let God in, things are blossoming. You know, your life's blossoming. And so it's amazing. I could chat to you all night long.
We could talk all night long about it, I know.
I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. And I really appreciate that you came all the way to the UK for us. I didn't realise, I thought you were here for other things. So I feel very blessed and honoured to have you on our show.
I'm blessed and honoured to be here. Thank you. And I love what you're doing.
Thank you, mate. I'm going to come around there and give you a hug if that's all right. That's how we kind of end our show.
If that's all right. Absolutely.
Have a little pose for some pictures. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Here, grab the end of that.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase it.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.